Hey everyone, my name's Tenebris Infinite, and today we got a spicy one. A brand new work-in-progress video from Road to Vostok. Steadily moving forwards with development, there's a lot to cover in this short 2.5 minute video, as well as some incredibly hype stuff shared in yesterday's dev stream, where we got to see Auntie put together a major asset for an upcoming map, and got some really cool sneak peeks into the plans for Road to Vostok. So let's dive into it all here. So first things first, a huge round of congratulations to Auntie for winning the competition for local businesses. Dude totally deserves it, and I hope the funding will go a long way in helping the project pick up even greater momentum next year when he reaches out and expands to a small team from solo deving. But for the WIP in specific here, first up we were shown impact physics, and this is actually pretty satisfying to watch. But I could see this being a small piece of everything that will pull Road to Vostok together to be a really immersive experience. Having believable physics is going to be a small detail, but a big one overall for the impact it'll have. Then we got to see the developer doing some weapon studies for nighttime combat, and it's really good to see the developer taking such an active approach to studying weapons here in the game. It's going to ultimately provide a much more authentic experience in the end when it comes to the gunplay and the gun feel here in Road to Vostok. After that is a quick look at the progress made on Shipyard from the previous dev stream. As well, later on, we got to see the finalized silo that will go into Shipyard. With Shipyard being confirmed as a map we'll see in Demo 2, these early looks will be great for getting an idea on what the map will be like. We'll show off some of the concept photography once we get to the stream section here later on in this video. Then, really quickly, we were shown 2 new weapons and a new item. The 1911 and the Makarov are looking great and will be nice additions as sidearms, especially when kitted up with a suppressor of some sort. But the really interesting thing that was shown off was the hot plate, our first look at a crafting item in the game. Cooking will play a huge role in our survival, and already has some interesting ideas behind it that we'll be discussing in a future video. But for now, as a first look at how we'll be cooking things, a hot plate is a great start. Then we got to hear some improved reverb for interior and exteriors, so let's let that play out here. It's sounding really good, and tunnely too, which will be great for bunker combat. But also, I'm keen to see the system improve with more closed interiors, or potentially reverb based on woods and suburban environments too. And then lastly, we got to see the equipment system that we've already previewed in a previous video, so if you'd like to check that out, that will be linked at the end of this one. But then for the last bit of news here, some stuff you maybe wouldn't know unless you caught the dev live stream from yesterday, where we got to hang out with Auntie while he did some work and got to ask some questions and see the stuff that he was working on. This is the second stream so far, and I really enjoy them. It gives us a chance to chill with the dev man himself, which gives such a good look into the game and how it's progressing. In the dev stream, we got to see the 1911 firsthand, and a little bit earlier. As a Patreon, I saw it a while back, but still, it's good to see it actually in game here. But the really interesting part was all the discussion about future maps, starting off with Shipyard, which we've seen quite a bit of. This is where we had it confirmed that this map will be in Demo 2. We then got to look at some concept pictures for Airfield, which will apparently be a fat loot source in the game, something we'll be looking more into when the time's right. Then we looked at Outpost, a border crossing point, and an old military bunker built into a forest. There are some really crazy plans for this map, from enemy NPC ambushes to explorable underground bunkers. It's a map that I'm really looking forward to exploring, as well it's our first look at what a map near the border is going to be like, and it sounds like it's going to be pretty tough to get through. And the craziest map that we talked about was Store, which, if you've played Stalker, will essentially be like Vostok, a trading center where there's no combat, unless you mess up and shoot some dude. But it sounds sick, and will be really cool to work out how to get to efficiently when we're out exploring Zone 5. We'll be talking about all of this stuff more in depth in separate videos, but for now, the concept of each of these maps is shaping up to be really, really interesting, and I think that that is such an awesome direction to take the game in. With each map having their own personality and reasons to visit them, we're going to wind up with a really rich game world to explore through in Road to Vostok. And then lastly, we talked about the future of shelters, which at first were planned to be off-map locations, but now may appear in the maps themselves, and personally, I think this is the best way to go. It creates a safe haven where we could get to without any transitions to break it up in Area 5, and will create a much more potentially hostile feeling when you reach the Vostok side of things and find your one single safe house there. Area 5 can have some fun methods of finding these shelters in the maps, and it'll ultimately make the maps larger, which I think is also a good thing too in Vostok's long run. So, we had quite the bit of news today, but I really liked putting this one together. Let me know if there's anything from this batch of RTV news that has you excited or curious or anything in between. But for now, thank you for watching. Maybe consider subscribing to stick around, but I will catch you all in the next one. Until then, peace.